Welcome back to another episode of Torque. Well, believe it or not, this is my 50th video. I can't believe I've made 50 videos so far. So I was going to work on the Mustang, but I thought it'd be a lot more fun to tell you a story that you just will not believe. Heck, I still don't believe it, and it's been 7 years ago. So let's head out to the barn and I'll tell the story. Alright, so let's start off this story by talking about the main character. For argument's sake, let's call this person Larry. So Larry loves Pacers. He's had multiple Pacers. Heck, I even had 2 of his Pacers in my backyard for a year and a half because he didn't have room for it, including his Gran Torino that sat there for a little bit. So Larry had a Pacer, a red Pacer, and he decided to sell it. After he sold it, lo and behold, he got a fairly decent car, which was an 80 Trans Am. So this 80 Trans Am that he bought, unfortunately, he bought it sight unseen, and it needed a lot of work. So much work, another friend of mine changed the motor on it, and then he asked me to work on this thing. And he asked me to completely rebuild the interior, basically. I pulled out everything out of that interior, except for a few gauges and switches, including the seats, carpet, everything, rebuilt everything. I mean, this thing had horrible problems. The rear end ring gear, it was so loose, there was a sheared bolt on it, and the ring gear was about ready to fall off. So I ended up going through this. I had over 100 hours in this car. I ended up rebuilding the T-tops, and those T-tops took forever, replacing all the weather stripping and getting them to seal perfectly. I had so many hours in this thing, and remember the T-tops because that will come up later. They were perfect when I got done. The interior looked excellent. I'll show you guys several pictures of it. I thought it came out really good. It wasn't the most powerful car, and I'll show you a quick video of it leaving the barn. I also had to rewire a lot of this Trans Am. It had air conditioning previously. He wanted to just have a heater, so he got a fiberglass heater, the cover, and I had to rewire everything. Everything worked great on this Trans Am. So let's go ahead and fast forward a little bit. Somewhere around 2016, 2015, somewhere around there, Larry decides he wants to sell the Trans Am. So he puts it up for sale at a really good price. Well, someone came up to see it. Now, this person said that he was working for a movie production, and he was coming up from Louisville, driving up from Louisville, and that he had to get the sign off from the director and the main character. So Larry asked who the main character was. It was Nicolas Cage. So he said he'd have to take the photos and the information back, and then he would get back with Larry. Well, lo and behold, he actually came back and purchased the car. So Larry struck the deal, and they told him that they were going to send him back his license plate when they got it down there, and they're also going to give him an autographed picture from Nicolas Cage. Well, he didn't receive either of those. So they also told Larry that it's going to be in the movie, and that it was going to be in a crash, but don't worry, that was going to be all CGI. I wouldn't believe that either. Now you wonder why I'm bringing all this up right now. Well, I didn't have the heart to watch the movie because I knew it crashed into another car. I mean, I was kind of upset about it. So I didn't watch it up until a couple days ago. Me and the wife decided to sit down and watch this movie, and it's a dark comedy. It's called Mom and Dad. It's like a B movie, not one of his better movies. He's had so many movies: National Treasure, Wind Talkers, Con Air, Sorcerer's Apprentice, Ghost Rider, The Rock. There's so many movies he's been in. It's just incredible. And he's in this movie with this car. So you remember all that time that I spent on those T-tops? I agonized over the weather stripping and trying to get them to fit perfect. We had to change out some of the clips on those things. It took a long time. So what happened? Well, his son in the movie actually shimmied through the passenger window, and he took a pickaxe straight through the T-tops, destroyed it. Well, a few minutes later, Nicolas Cage is actually in the car and he starts running the car forward and back, slamming into things. He gets it outside and turns it around and drives it and T-bones another car. Now, 7 years ago, I definitely didn't want to see that. Now, it doesn't bother me as much. The one thing that I always keep on thinking about is that I actually worked on a car that Nicolas Cage destroyed. How many people can actually say that? Well, to kind of sum things up, if you're in the movie industry and if you're ever around Nicolas Cage, tell him he owes my buddy an autographed picture. So other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know you didn't learn anything, but I hope to see you on another episode of Torqued.